like to come with me, Mr. Drummond, I'll show you the office. Here we are, Mr. Drummond. Mr. Drummond? This is the office, Mr. Drummond. Oh, please excuse the state it's in. I'm afraid it hasn't been in use for some time. There's no resident porter in this building, and therefore no one to keep it in a presentable condition. Still, all it needs is a facelift, duster, and a strong arm.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Yes. It overlooks the high street as you wanted.
It's not very crowded down there.
Well, it's not quite lunchtime yet. It's only 20 to 12.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, at 12 o'clock.
Will this office be suitable for your purposes?
Oh, yes, it'll be fine. Fine.
The previous holders of the lease were theatrical agents. There was always a steady procession of eager young men and women coming in and out. They all looked alike, too. The agency folded 6 weeks ago. It's rather expensive, I'm afraid. It's £15 a week, but then it is in a choice location.
Yes. Yes, it is.
What business are you in, Mr. Drummond? Well...
Oh, aye. No dark suit or tie, shoes not polished. No brolly, briefcase, or copy of the Financial Times. Is that what all businessmen are supposed to look like?
Well,
perhaps I don't want to rent an office after all. Perhaps I'm just lonely and need a bit of company. You know, I looked round every estate agency in the area until I came to yours.
Really? What made our agency so special?
You?
Me?
Yes. I stood outside watching you for quite a long time. I think perhaps you must have felt my presence because you looked up. I wanted to find out what your reaction was. Do you remember what it was?
Not offhand.
You smiled. The first person who smiled at me all the morning. So I walked in and I sat down. I saw your name there on the desk in big gold letters, Miss Margaret Lord. It was very aristocratic, rather like yourself. And then I thought, oh, you're way out of your depth here, man. Then you asked me what I wanted. Well, I could hardly say, you seem to me to be a very nice person, Miss Lord. I wonder if I could have a few moments of your time, if you don't charge, that is. I mean, I could hardly say that, could I? And then I saw this office was to let, from your window there with the name, so I asked if I could rent it.
I must admit a flat or a bedsit would have been much more credible. I might not have wondered about you at all then.
Well, if you wondered about me, why did you bring me over here?
Well, I wasn't sure.
Oh, I see. Were you afraid I might make advances to you?
Not really.
Oh, why not?
Just a feeling.
Supposing I did?
I have been advanced on before. And there are other people on this floor. And you seemed very anxious to see this particular office.
Oh, no, Miss Lord. To see from it.
Did you come into the agency just for some company?
I came into the agency because its name was on the board outside this office. I had to come in with someone.
Well...
Oh, there, look, they're getting busy down there now. All the people. All rushing around, ignoring all the other people surrounding them, all wrapped up in their own little worlds. Whole lives centered on themselves. You know what I mean? You know, people are so arrogant. They don't believe that anything could interrupt them or stop them in their tracks, not even death. I suppose that's why we invented God, a religion, an afterlife. I can't believe that our own existences could in the end amount to only a handful of dust and ashes. We feel there must be something else, more to it than that, or else why would we be here? And we were too important just to die, to disappear. There must be something more than that. It's a game, isn't it?
Well, if you'd like to return to the agency with me, we can finalize the details of the lease. How long would you like it for? A year, 6 months, or 3 months?
Oh, just for today?
What?
Just this morning?
You can't rent an office for a morning.
Why not?
Because we don't operate on a daily basis.
But I won't need it after.
After what?
After this morning.
Mr. Drummond, I am very busy and I do have other clients to see. Now, do you want this office or don't you?
Tell me, does that lock?
What?
The door to the office here, does it lock? I was coming upstairs behind you. I couldn't see if you unlocked it or not. Could you show me, please? Is this it?
Why are you locking us in?
Is this it?
Find it yourself.
Process of elimination, eh?
Well, I was wrong.
You don't seem very frightened.
Why should I be? You haven't timed your move very well, have you? You should have left it 10 more minutes. Then all the people on this floor would have gone to lunch. As it is, you take one step towards me and I'm going to scream until enough people come to break that door down.
Oh, no, you're not.
You just listen to me.
If you make one sound, if anybody comes outside that door, if anybody tries to break that door down to stop me, I'll kill them.
Kill them?
Now, you wouldn't like that on your conscience, would you?
And me?
I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to touch you. I don't even want to see you. I just need you to be here with me. Now, it won't take very long. And at the end of it, you can go free. You'll not be harmed in any way unless you try to escape, unless you try to stop me. And if you do that, I'll kill you. Now, do you understand?
At the end of what? Stop you from doing what?
Do you understand?
No!
Listen, I don't want to hurt you, Margaret. Do you mind if I call you Margaret? I don't want to hurt you. Now, do you understand that?
I won't make a move. Not for anything. Right.
That's fine. That's fine. Where are they all, huh? There should be a crowd down there. There should be fat women with shopping baskets and screaming kids and young businessmen walking across to the pub to drink their lunch. See, it should be crowded down there. There should be people turning into each other and falling over each other, dragging each other down with them. And then they realize there are others around them, other people who are living just like them. And then suddenly they need their help. They no longer want to be alone in their own little worlds. They want somebody else to protect them, but it's too late then. Do you see?
No. No, I don't see.
You see, unless there's a crowd, there's no panic. Unless there's nowhere to turn, nowhere to escape.
Escape from what?
What time is it?
About 11:45.
No, exactly.
13 minutes to.
That's good. 13 minutes more. A lot of people down there by then.
What's going to happen at 12 o'clock?
Precisely 12 o'clock. The people down in that street are going to find their arrogant, self-important little lives somewhat interrupted. I'm going to fire into them.
You can't.
Are you going to stop me?
But why?
It's something I have to do.
Why? Why? There must be a reason.
But to kill people. There's no more reason than to kill anything else. A sniper is just a hunter with human targets, that's all. You know, I sat up in trees during the war and I picked off Germans and Japs and then Koreans, then Viet Cong. They were the same trees, same guns. Just different targets, that's all. You know, I was up in that tower in Texas. I was in that room in Glasgow. Snipers are just hunters, and that's all they are. Just hunters. You know, my father, he owned a gun shop in Ballater. Oh, there were guns of all kinds. And we used to go hunting, you know, my father and I. I used to go hunting with him for deer. And we used to stalk them side by side, father and son, him holding a gun. And then suddenly we'd see one of those beauties, you know, standing stock still, its head up, listening, feeling our presence. My father would take aim and he'd make no more sound or movement in doing that than he'd done in approaching the deer. But it would know in that instant, it would know that its life was in danger. And then it would spring away, you see, like that. That very second. But it would be too late. Because he'd fire. And the animal would fall with a bullet in its heart. There was something about it, you know. The feeling of holding a gun and seeing your target, almost larger than life in your sight, maybe 400 yards away. But right there close, it would have no idea that its life was about to be ended. Well, he should have no idea. But he does. It always does. But not a human being, though, you see. No, a human being has no idea. He doesn't even have the animal awareness that his life is about to end. No awareness of danger at all. My father, he used to say that killing a man like that couldn't have any satisfaction because he didn't know what's hit him. But I thought, no, just for that very reason, it's even more satisfying. A hunter is just a sniper with human targets.
But they're not targets, they're people.
They're targets. Like deer, or grouse, or row of clay ducks in a shooting gallery. You're not trying to kill them, not really. You're just knocking them over. As long as they go down, that's what matters. That's what's really important.
But what's the sense in it?
What's the sense in hunting any animal? I don't mean just for food, but for the head, the trophy. Animals are living too, aren't they? I mean, they're all God's creatures. You know, I had my first gun from my father when I was 16 years of age. He said I was old enough to kill then. After the first one, the rest are easy. I remember that day he shot a deer and he told me to see where I was in some tall grass while he ran towards it. I followed him along the sight of my gun and I watched. I watched him reach the animal, examine it. It was all covered in blood and shattered bone. I felt sick. And he was right there before me, as helpless and more unsuspecting than the deer had been. He was an easy target, even for a novice, you see. His big back was there, unmoving, and my finger was tensed on the trigger. And for one moment it seemed so easy just to squeeze that trigger. And to watch him with a bullet in his heart, covered in blood and shattered bone. My own father. But he turned and saw me, and there was the gun pointed at him. He started running towards me and waving his arms and shouting, and it unnerved me a little, and the feeling passed. And I lowered the gun. When he reached me, he was really very angry. He said he wouldn't let me kill anything if I didn't learn not to point a gun at a human being. Never ever let your gun pointed be at anyone. Oh, well, I didn't say it made any difference, but I didn't say anything. I just apologized. What's the difference? You tell me.
A great difference.
There's none.
Of course there is. A human being is...
Is what? Has a human being any more right to live than the animals he kills?
The people down in this street aren't hunters or killers, they're just people. They're just ordinary, everyday people going about their business. They've done nothing against you. They're unarmed, they're helpless.
Let me tell you something. An animal kills for food, for survival. A human being only kills for revenge, for the sake of killing.
Like you're going to do.
Well, I have to do what I have to do.
But why do you have to do it?
Because I have to. I've thought about that day a lot. The day I almost killed my own father. I thought about it every time we went hunting after it. I thought about it every day until he died.
How did he die?
It was a shooting accident.
What kind of accident?
You think I killed him, don't you? You think the feeling was too overwhelming for me. You think I killed him.
Is that how it happened? Did you murder your father?
Murder? I was talking about murder. I was talking about hunting. That's not murder.
Did you?
He was cleaning his gun in his workshop. That was the first rule to me. Always make sure your gun is unloaded before you clean it. You only need to be careless once, he used to say. Just once. Well, I remember when I heard that shot, I thought he hasn't unloaded it. How about that? The bastards forgot to unload it. When I burst in, he was lying on the floor and his face was all covered in blood, and he looked in death, just as I'd always imagined he'd have looked if I'd squeezed the trigger that day. And he looked just like one of his animals. But it was my gun, you see. You see, he cleaned his gun, then he decided to clean mine. It was a sort of fatherly gesture, if you like. Oh, I was his son, I was his son, like father, like son. He always unloaded his gun, I always unloaded my gun, but that day I just forgot, and I don't know why. I just forgot. Of course, he should have checked it. Why didn't he check it?
No.
Now don't you dare make a move like that again. Do you want to be killed?
You're going to kill those people in the street. What's the difference?
The difference is that you're not down there. You're not a target. Yet.
It isn't 12 yet. It isn't time. You can't do it before it's time.
What time is it?
11:53.
Then you've got 7 minutes to talk me out of it. You don't want me to fire into them, do you?
No.
Well, then give me some reasons. Give me one reason. Just one reason, and I won't go through with it. It's up to you, Miss Lord.
If you shoot into those people, well, the police will be here in minutes, and they'll surround the area. Even if you escape from this building, from these streets, well, they'll hunt you down and kill you.
I'll not be hunted.
Well, of course you will. And they're especially armed in cases like this. Listen. That sniper in Glasgow. The police shot and killed him. He may have been a sick man in need of help, reassurance, to have someone to listen to him, to understand him and take care. But he never had a chance. And neither will you.
Oh, is that what I need, Margaret? Someone to talk to. Someone who'll listen to me. Well, I'm talking to you. But you're not really listening, are you? Not really. You're frightened. You're worried about yourself. And even while you're listening to me, you're thinking, what can I do? How can I escape? What can I do to stop this madman? I mean, you're not really interested in me, or even worried about me. You're interested in yourself, and those fat, stupid women with their shopping bags and their children. All those young men with their dolly buds with the painted eyebrows and the painted eyelashes. Those senile old men who can hardly cross the road. Them and yourself. Not me.
I do want to help you. Put down the gun and unlock the door. We'll go to my office and we'll talk. I'll listen. I'll try and understand. I promise. I'll do anything I can.
For me?
Yes.
Well, why? Why should you care?
I don't know.
Well, thanks. But I don't need your help.
But you do.
Why, am I sick? Unbalanced? Disturbed? There's something on a little haywire in my brain, and it is slowly destroying itself.
Yes.
There is nothing crazy about me. I know exactly what I'm doing. So you keep your sympathy and your pity and your understanding for somebody who needs it. Well, is that all you've got to say, Margaret? It's not a very convincing argument, is it? And your time's running out.
Do you want to die?
What?
Oh, why not? What makes you any different from your intended victims?
Because I'm the hunter. That's what makes me different.
No. Because you don't want to be killed, and neither do they.
Well, perhaps they'd be better off. There'd be no more fear. No more plans that can never succeed. No more dreams that can never come true. There's no more unhappiness.
But you can't decide that for them. What if you were down in that street, and somebody else was up here in this office with a gun pointed down at you? You wouldn't want your plans and dreams to end, would you?
They all ended a long time ago.
Well, then make new ones.
It's too late.
Oh, it's never too late.
It's never too late. 'Tis for me.
What about your wife?
What do you know about my wife?
Well, does she know where you are and what you're going to do?
No.
Well, look, how's she going to feel when she reads in the evening paper that some man murdered innocent victims from an office window, and how the police hunted him down and killed him in some back alley or pub or wherever it is they find him. And she sees your picture and reads your name and realizes that her husband is the killer.
She won't think anything.
Of course she will.
No.
But you must.
No.
Why not?
She left me.
When?
Oh, about a month ago.
What happened?
She said she'd had enough of me. Couldn't take any more, but I'd driven her to it. I wonder what that means. I mean, I can't be any different from the man she married, can I? I mean, I can't have changed all that much, can I? I can't help being me, can I?
Did you have a row?
No, we didn't have a row. Nothing as simple as that, nothing as open as that. No angry words or smashed cups or scenes, just silence and looks. Few bitter words and accusations, that's all, but only short, never enough to start something. I married her a few years after I came down to London. Just a few years, that's all. The hunting trips, you see. I went up to Scotland, once a year. Took her with me, but she hated them. The killing and the blood and the smell of death. The stench. But most of all, she hated me because when I held a gun, she said, she didn't know me anymore. I wasn't a husband anymore. Then I was just a killer. Those were the words. She said I enjoyed it.
And did you?
Oh, yes. She watched me the way I would watch my father. The way our sons would have watched me when they were old enough to come with me. That's what she said. What she said in her last night. She didn't want our eldest son ever to reach the age of 16 if it meant that I'd give him a gun on that day. If it meant that he'd come shooting animals with me as my father. For taking me. That's what she said. She didn't want him to kill, she said. She was crying too. And that was odd because she'd never done that before. It wouldn't have been so bad, if she'd just gone away on her own, but no. She took the kids with her, the 3 boys. She got them out of bed. They were blinking in the light, didn't understand what was happening. Told them to get dressed, that they were leaving. It was like a big adventure, you see. Middle of the night, pitch black outside. 6 years old, 5 years old, and 3 years old. I mean, how could they know what she was doing? They couldn't make up their own minds, could they? They couldn't make up their minds who they wanted to stay with. Anyway, they've got a new daddy now.
She left you for someone else.
Well, of course she did. She wouldn't leave otherwise. She's got 3 kids to look after. She needs somebody to support her. She's pretty well off, as far as I can tell. And in time, the boys will come to look upon him as their father. There'll be a memory somewhere at the back of their minds, something distant and unreal, and I won't be part of their world anymore. Oh, well, it'll be something they're better off without.
Well, there must be something you can do.
I haven't seen her or the boys since that night.
Well, does she intend to divorce you?
No, she won't get the chance.
Do you know where she is now?
Oh, yes. Yes, I know exactly where she is. Number 2, Cumberland Gardens, London, W2.
Well, Cumberland Gardens is just around the corner.
It's a 2-story house. White paint, blue door, flower pots on the window ledge. Very pretty. Nice curtains, nice furniture. She was always one for keeping things nice. It's very clean too. There's a white fence around the garden. I think that he must have brought Jason. That's my boy's name, Jason. I think he must have brought him a tricycle. There's one upturned in the driveway. He has a ready-made family. No sweat. No work. And I don't know anything about him. I don't even know his name.
She lives just around the corner. She must do her shopping in the high street. Well, there's nowhere else near enough. What time does she do her shopping? 12 o'clock? You don't care about those faceless people down there, do you? Your real target's your wife. Or will he be with her? Is he your real target? What about the children? She could have the children with her. You could miss Leslie and kill them. Look, is what you've told me sufficient reason to kill them too? Do you want to punish them too? Is that what you want? Is it? Please. Give it to me.
I've got one left. Don't make me use it. Don't try to come through that door! I'll fly through it!
He means it! Go back!
1, 2, 3. Just like a row of ducks. You didn't even know where it was coming from. So easy. I mean, anyone can do it anywhere, anytime. You can always depend on human beings to panic, just create enough confusion for you to escape.
Then what are you waiting for? You can get past those men in the corridor by using me as a hostage. Well, that's what you kept me for, isn't it? Well, get on with it. Let's get out of here. You can do what you want with me, but do it.
I wanted you here with me because I needed your company. So you see, I did need your help, after all.
I didn't give you help just to kill people.
Don't cry. You're not down there.
But I am. I am, and your wife, was she there too? Or was that just for fun? A practice round? Are you still waiting for her to come?
I'm not waiting for her.
Then what are you waiting for? Why don't you escape?
Margaret, where to?
Don't!
I just don't like to see you crying. Look, I wouldn't hurt you, you know that, don't you? They call you Maggie.
What?
Do they call you Maggie from your name?
My friends call me Maggie.
You shouldn't let them. It's common. And you're not common, are you? And you make them call you Margaret, because Margaret's a lovely name. Maggie isn't good enough for you. It's like my name, you see. My name is John Drummond. But Leslie, she always calls me Jack, you see, because she says that John sounds too dignified. She doesn't have very much respect for me, you see.
Do you think she'll have any more for you now?
No. Because she won't realize, you see, she won't understand. She'll only know what she reads in the newspaper. And like you said, it'll shock her. Seeing it there in print, my name, maybe my picture. But it won't be a personal shock to her, you know what I mean? Something she shares with other people, with everybody else. It'll embarrass her, it'll upset her. But at least she'll have to take some notice of me, won't she? At least she won't be able to shut me out of her mind. Then, will she? And maybe she'll even feel some kind of remorse.
Is that why you did it? Just to make her take some notice of you?
Oh, no. No, I did it for myself.
They're coming.
Yes. thought they'd be here before this. Police station's not all that far away.
Why you've been waiting for the police to come?
I told you, I would not be hunted.
But once they get here, you won't have a chance of escaping.
Keep away from that window.
Look, you can't hold them off indefinitely. You haven't got that many bullets. Or time. And time's on their side. Look, if they can't talk you out or blast you out, they'll just surround the whole building and wait. Or they'll starve you out. Look, you'll have to give yourself up in the end.
Why?
Do you intend to use me as a hostage?
Well, you look at them all down there. Running around in their blue uniforms. Like mice who've cornered a cat and they don't quite know what to do with him.
Do you?
I told you, don't go near the window.
This is Detective Inspector Grant. The building is surrounded by armed police. You have 2 minutes in which to surrender.
He's right. You don't stand a chance.
2 minutes. It's not very long to make a life and death decision, is it?
You don't have to make a decision. That's why you kept me here. To escape through me.
You know, I didn't think there was anybody left who cared, but you do, don't you? I hadn't expected that. Pity it's too late.
Do what the inspector says. We'll walk out together. I'll stay with you, I swear it. Please, John.
I can't. I've made up my mind. It was the only thing left to do. I made a decision. I'm not very good at that. Making decisions, I mean, and carrying them out. But this time I've got to go through with it. Do you understand that, Margaret? This time there is no going back. I have to finish what I've started. You do understand, don't you? Go on. They're blanks. They're all blank cartridges. They wouldn't hurt you. Not unless you were too close, and then they might give you a nasty burn.
Can you get up on that roof?
John, don't.
No, it's too late.
Of course it's not too late. Give yourself this last chance.
Get outside, Margaret.
Don't let them kill you.
Get outside. Margaret!
No!